Did you know? The character Wilbur will occasionally spell out words in the NATO phonetic alphabet, where words are used to communicate a letter, but there's a slight secret in his dialogue. When Wilbur spells out the word now, he says November Oscar Whisker. In real life, the NATO phonetic word for the letter W isn't whisker, it's whiskey. This was clearly changed to remove any reference to alcohol. But this isn't the only secret surrounding Wilbur. Wilbur and his brother Orville are clearly named after Orville and Wilbur Wright, inventors of the airplane. Wilbur's birth date is even December 17th, a reference to the day the Wright brothers conducted the first ever flight of the Wright Flyer in 1903. However, their names in the Japanese game reference something else entirely. Wilbur's Japanese name is Rodri, a shortening of Rodriguez. This is the name of an island which was once home to a relative of the dodo, the Rodriguez solitaire. In Japan, the Rodriguez solitaire is known as the Rodriguez dodo, strengthening this connection. Orville's name, on the other hand, is Mori, taken from the word Mauritius, an island nation where dodos once roamed. In the Spanish version of New Horizons, the villager Raymond is named Narciso. One interpretation of the word is a Spanish name for the ancient Greek figure Narcissus. Narcissus was self-obsessed, and is the origin of the word narcissism. The game's Spanish localizers may have included this reference due to Raymond's smug personality. The villager Sherb also has nods to Greek mythology in other languages. In the German game, he's called Morpheus, referencing the Greek god of the same name associated with sleep and dreams. CJ's Italian and French names, Castorino and Pollux respectively, also reference mythology. They're named after the twins Castor and Pollux from Greek and Roman mythology, who are considered the twin sons of Zeus or Jupiter. Interestingly, Castor is also the scientific name for the beaver genus. On the flip side, CJ's name in Japanese is Justin. This would make him Justin the Beaver, likely a nod to Canadian singer-songwriter Justin Bieber. On top of this, beavers are often associated with Canada, as is Justin Bieber. The villager Sid is named Ponkasu, or Punks in Japan. This name seems to have influenced a few references in other versions of the game. Firstly, his name in the English, Russian, Dutch, German, and Italian versions is likely a nod to punk rock star Sid Vicious of Sex Pistols fame. The Spanish version of the game takes a different direction, however, naming him Ramon, after punk rock band The Ramones, and perhaps its lead singer, Joey Ramone. Audie's name is a variation of Monica in most language versions of New Horizons. This isn't the case with her English name, however, which is likely a nod to a real-life person, and this time, someone in the Animal Crossing community. Audrey is an 87-year-old grandma who went viral on Twitter in early 2019 after her grandson tweeted out her impressive 3,580-hour playtime in Animal Crossing New Leaf. In the game, Audrey adopted the username Audie as she played. Since this is such a unique name, it's highly likely that someone at Nintendo wanted to reward her dedication by referencing her in New Horizons. There are some other interesting secrets about the franchise's villagers. In an interview with GameCult, New Horizons developers explained that when brainstorming ideas for new characters, the team thinks about the character's role in the game before any designs are made. After landing on a role, they choose the most appropriate species of animal. This is how it was done even in the first Animal Crossing, with one example being Blathers. Since owls are often associated with wisdom, the museum curator role was made an owl. Production on Animal Crossing New Horizons began right after the release of Animal Crossing New Leaf in 2012, before the team even knew the Nintendo Switch existed. The first decision made was to set the game on a deserted island. According to New Horizons director Aya Kyogoku, this was meant to shake the series up. Kyogoku said, "When we started developing New Horizons, we felt that if we didn't change the elements of players moving to a village, nothing would really change. Even the interaction with animals wouldn't change either." This wasn't the only thing they wanted to shake up. In older games in the series, there wasn't much for players to do at night, as shops would close and villagers would go to bed. This was one reason crafting mechanics were added to New Horizons. Because the mechanic can be used at all hours, players would have more to do even while shops and characters were inaccessible. Another reason was to give players more customization options. During development, the team also learned that in prior Animal Crossing titles, some fans would reset their game multiple times until they found a town layout that they liked. In light of this, the team added the ability to terraform the island. Just like crafting, terraforming was designed to be accessible at any time of the day. These mechanics push players to engage more with the island as a whole, rather than focusing on just their homes or villagers. Another change was the inclusion of Nook Miles, which were designed to slowly introduce each of the game's mechanics so as not to overwhelm new players. They were also designed to tempt existing players out of their old playing habits and experiment with playing the game in different ways. Tying the game to the real-time clock enables players to time travel, where a player changes their Switch's clock to skip ahead in the game and access future events early. For New Horizons, however, Nintendo chose to add seasonal events as DLC DLC, instead of having the events built in. This means players can't time travel to access seasonal events, which led many to assume that Nintendo implemented this change to curb time traveling. This doesn't seem to be the case, however, as both Kyogoku and New Horizons producer Hisashi Nogami have gone on record saying they don't consider time traveling cheating. These developers also explained how some features were inspired by the failings of past Animal Crossing games. The local multiplayer mode in New Horizons, Party Play, is an idea the team wanted to have in City Folk back on the Wii. After the Wii game was released, the team realized they could have included some sort of simultaneous play on a single console with 2 Wii remotes. When it came time to make New Horizons, the team made sure to include this decade-old idea. Although there were some concerns that New Horizons sales numbers would be hurt by the COVID-19 pandemic, the game sold a stunning 1.88 million copies in Japan within its first 3 days. This beat out the Switch's then record holder, Pokemon Sword and Shield, by roughly 500,000 units. This doesn't even include digital sales of the game. New Horizons also bumped up sales on Nintendo Switch and Switch Lite consoles in Japan by over 585%. Worldwide, New Horizons launch week sales beat those of all other Animal Crossing game launches combined. Although worldwide sales were high, New Horizons hasn't been approved by the Chinese government to be officially sold in the country. This didn't stop retailers and resellers on Chinese auction sites from importing copies of the game, however. Initially, sales seemed to be accepted by the Chinese government, but due to the COVID-19 situation, many pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong couldn't continue their demonstrations in public. Instead, the protesters began using New Horizons as a digital space to facilitate their protests and communicate with other protesters. In response, the Chinese government banned stores from selling New Horizons in early April. According to reports, the ban also covers New Horizons themed Switches and the game's merchandise. But Hong Kong and Chinese gamers haven't let that stop them. They've resorted to buying New Horizons from Nintendo's eShop digitally through different regions. Some have even privately reached out to sellers to buy copies of the game under the table. They aren't the only group taking Animal Crossing seriously, however, with New Horizons' turnip market becoming just as serious as Wall Street's to some. For those unaware, players can buy turnips in New Horizons every Sunday, which can be sold throughout the week, ideally for a profit. However, turnips will rot the following Sunday, making them worthless. The buying price of turnips changes twice daily, leading to a high-stakes game where players can land huge profits or losses. The uncertain nature of the market has prompted players to band together in an attempt to game the system. For instance, the subreddit r/acturnips allows users to post their town's turnip prices and set up visits to sell turnips, usually in exchange for tips in the form of bells, items, or Mystery Island tickets. Others, like Tom Riley and his coworkers, use Slack, an app designed for employees to communicate online. Riley's server has a customized bot that alerts everyone if a member's turnip prices are over 200 bells. Continually updating turnip prices on Slack has become part of the daily routine for many members of the group. Opening your island's airport to fellow turnip traders isn't without risk, however. Some players have experienced turnip traders stealing items from their island or have been scammed. To combat this, some players have actually hired others to act as security guards on their island. Crowdsourcing good turnip prices is only one tactic players have used. Others have turned to coding price prediction calculators, such as ASDturnip.com, in hopes of forecasting their town's turnip prices in advance. New Horizons was intended to bring friends and their communities together, and managed to bring 2 specific communities together in a way that shocked its developers. Fan art depicting Animal Crossing's Isabelle with the main character of the Doom series flooded the internet in the days leading up to New Horizons, and Doom Eternal's shared March 20th, 2020 release date. Even Doom's official Twitter account joined in on the fun. When the phenomenon came to the attention of New Horizons' team, they were awestruck by the creativity and popularity of the pairing. Nogami celebrated what the Isabelle and Doomslayer crossover meant for gaming at large, telling IGN, "Obviously the game's genres are completely different. It's so great to see that 2 different fandoms are coming together and hyping up the gaming community and gaming culture itself. It's a really great thing to see." The Doom Twitter account wasn't the only one won over by New Horizons. Xbox's official Twitter account posted custom Xbox-themed Animal Crossing clothing for fans to download and wear. This followed Microsoft's Executive Vice President of Gaming, Phil Spencer, sharing a tweet of Twitter user iGazeGirl, aka Becky. Becky is an ambassador for Special Effect, a charity focused on leveling the playing field for gamers with disabilities. Becky had connected an Xbox adaptive controller to her Nintendo Switch, which allowed her to remap the Switch's controls to allow her to play New Horizons using just her head. Did you also know that the Nintendo GameCube had over 100 canceled games, including many Nintendo games? For more facts, check out the DidYouKnowGaming video on canceled GameCube games. And if you're looking for more from me, you can check out my Twitch channel, where I'm live every night doing tons of different stuff, or check out my YouTube channel, where I upload highlights of me doing all that different stuff.